Hi, writing class. This week we're going to be looking at voice and clarity. They go hand in hand. If you're going to be clear about your meaning, very often the words you use and the punctuation that you use, it can connote a certain tone or an attitude, and sometimes there could be a miscommunication that leads from that. So, voice and clarity are two-pronged. One, you want to have your voice, the words that you use, the punctuation that you use, be transmit the message that you want to give to your reader. For instance, I thought that I was being clear with my daughter when my teenage daughter texted me, and I wanted to let her know I got her text and I got her meaning, and I was busy at the time, and I just texted back, "K," short for okay. And she got after me later telling me how passive aggressive that sounded and that I should have written a bit more or even the full word okay or okay in an emoji happy face or something, and that she thought it was very short. I was being very short with her by just texting K. And this was all really new to me because I never usually do such a thing with the short form. My text talk is limited because I'm an English teacher, and before, people used to get after me for being too formal in texting, and I would have all the proper grammar and full sentences. And so it didn't seem like I could ever win. This is short and comedic little story, little anecdote about how voice can be misinterpreted. But if you're using vocabulary or a certain attitude in your writing, and it could be as innocent that you used all caps. Maybe you were trying to get across that something was important, but to the reader in the last 10 years, all caps means that somebody is yelling at them or screaming at them or they're being very loud. And so that could put your reader off automatically if they think that they're being spoken down to or that they're being yelled at. Or some people really like punctuation and exclamation marks. I like exclamation marks. I think that they're fun and they can show that someone's excited about something. But it also could be a little scary. It could be intense if someone's everything has an exclamation mark after it. And so you don't know. It's the written word. And a lot of our writing now is through email or text. We're not calling each other and we're not having as many meetings face to face anymore. So this sort of voice is really important. So, part of what we're going to be looking at is active voice versus passive voice. And we're also going to do some exercises where we're going to deconstruct some messages that I found for you, whether it's an email or a business memo. And you're able to read into that, into the attitude of the speaker. And of course, when I'm speaking out speaker and body language, we know that it's in the written word. The other part of that is the clarity. How do we write short enough to be clear and punchy and not go on and bore people? But how do we also write long enough so that we get all of our meaning across and we're not leaving anybody in the dark where they're wondering, is there more to that instruction or direction? Or that they so that they don't make a mistake with your meaning because you didn't give them enough information. So it's a bit of a line, isn't it? It's a bit tricky with how much do we write? How little do we write? Especially when we in the last how many years now are looking at writing shorter and shorter pieces, 140 characters with Twitter, and we have emails instead of long meetings. And a lot of our communication is now written in shorter form. People have shorter attention spans, but even Twitter figured out that you can't get across a clear message in 140 characters, and they've extended how many characters they have available to them. And we want to be able to really walk the line with clarity in our writing and the appropriate voice that we're using to get across our message. And our messages are more than just the words written. People read between the lines and they figure that there's a tone or attitude or meaning that they connote. So, denote and connote. Denote means what's really written there, like the words on the page and exactly how they're interpreted is different when someone has a connotation, meaning they're reading between the lines and they're trying to figure out the meaning that's underneath the words or if there is some tone or attitude. And so we want to be good writers and have our message come across clearly without boring people and without leaving them in the dark any. So this week we have a lot of practice with tearing apart some writing and trying to create some writing of our own. And it's going to start with active versus passive voice. And then we're going to get into some paragraphing. So stay with me. There'll be some other video lessons as well. And then there will be some written exercises. And you're going to be doing all of that on top of we have 2 assignments this week where we are writing some paragraphs so that we can, get some grades under our belt. And it's all boiling down to our final project, which I just posted this weekend, which will be a 5 to 6 paragraph essay. And 5 or 6 paragraphs isn't really a lot, but for some people, it can make you a little bit nervous. So I wanted to show you early that by April 14th, that was coming up. And so this is all part of building towards that. Have a great week, everybody. And if you need anything from me, please write either on email, but I really do prefer the chat on our Teams because that comes directly to me and it's only you guys that communicate that with me. Whereas email can be flooded with other things from the college or even spam, and I may miss your communication. So if you do need me for anything this week, I can get back to you fairly quickly if you write me on chat on Teams. Take care, everybody, and good luck with all the assignments this week.